Oh, hello there. Welcome to IGN Game Scoop. I'm your host, Damon Hatfield. Joining me this week is Justin Davis,
Scoop.
Jared Petty,
Scoop.
Sam Claiborne.
3 scoops, new set.
New set. We're still getting used to it here. Look forward to lots of fun stuff happening on this video wall behind us in the future. But we got to get to our show today. We're really very, very busy day. Very big day for us here at IGN. Lots of stuff happening.
Put up that Civ review.
The biggest of days.
What did you say? What review?
We put up the Civ 6 review.
Okay, yeah. Civilization 6.
Which is a big deal. That's a big deal.
What did we give it? Do we know what we give it?
It's a review in progress.
It's an RIP.
Okay.
Dan likes it.
RIP, we need a new acronym probably.
You'll have to change the name.
Red Dead Redemption 2 revealed. Logan trailer is out. We don't have time to talk about that today, but the trailer is really awesome. You should definitely watch the Red Band trailer.
Super violent.
Yeah,
that
I
one,
mean, it's cool.
1-2 second scene.
But first, the Nintendo Switch.
The Nintendo Snitch, as I was calling it earlier.
Wolverine says snicked.
Were you chasing it and catching it?
Yeah.
Like the snitch? Yes.
The Nintendo NX is the Nintendo Switch. The rumors are true. It is a console portable hybrid. First of all, give me your responses to the name. Do you like the name Nintendo Switch?
Sure, fine by me.
Sure.
As long as it wasn't Wii with another letter
It's
after
not
it, I was
Wii.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
We're away from Wii.
We switched away.
It's the end of an era.
It is totally the end of an era, a dark era.
Ever since the Wii era.
That lasted exactly 10 years, I want to point out.
Yeah.
The Wii name ended up working in the end. When they announced it, everyone said, Nintendo, what are you doing? Why are you giving your console such a weird name that's so easy to make fun of? It ended up working in the end, but that was the beginning of Nintendo really doubling down on them, marching to their own beat, being a weird sort of different company than their competitors.
The Wii U never worked.
No, and with the Nintendo Switch, I feel like this is them swinging back around towards trying to go with a little bit more of a standard, just sort of hip, cool, snappy name. I like it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all.
It's one word that identifies what the thing does. That's great.
Everybody keeps saying NX by accident, though, because we've been saying it for so long. So that's a thing. And a couple people have been calling it NS in the office. I think that's really smart.
Yeah, but don't call it the Nintendo NS.
No.
'Cause that would be redundant.
Or the
ATM
NXS.
ATM
That's something
machine.
different.
Yeah.
I still refer to the GameCube as the
DVD
dolphin
video.
in my mind.
The Dolphin.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
So what do you think? What do you think about the actual the concept of the console itself? Do you think is it a portable that can be hooked up to a TV, or is it a HD TV console that can be taken on the go?
Well, it's interesting. We're already getting a little bit of that Nintendo mixed messaging, I guess, where, the very, very slick, very cool and impressive sort of debut trailer, I liked it a lot. And they've played up the portable aspect of it so much. He's playing it on an airplane. They're playing it on a basketball court. There's some women playing it on a roof, I guess.
Yeah, rooftop party.
But
We go to those all the time.
That's where you
But
play
then
Mario.
Nintendo released this clarifying statement after that they're like, this is a home console first and foremost. And it's like, but that's not what you just showed us for 3 minutes.
I think that's marketing speed. They're hedging their bets. I mean, the way people use portable consoles, heck, half the time you play them, you're playing them in your house anyway. And maybe they're trying to grab onto that. But I think it only does everything is going to be the message for a while. In reality, I'm not sure even they know how we're going to use it. But I think that the concept's intriguing. I play a lot with the Vita, which is a large handheld anyway, and really enjoy that. So I'm all in on this. I'm buying one.
It's funny how they never want to give up their past handheld system. When the DS came out, they're like, but we still have the Game Boy.
Yeah.
We have 3 pillars. And I think they want to kind of feel out how long they need a 3DS for and what it's going to be. They're going to shift interest to 2DS?
Well, that's an interesting perspective that I've been seeing crop up on some message boards and social media where, it's the Wii U successor. It's Nintendo's new console, the new console. But no one's really thinking as much about, or people beginning to think about, what does this mean for the 3DS?
Exactly.
Can they possibly exist alongside each other? Will we get new sort of first-party 3DS games too, or are Nintendo handhelds and portables one and the same?
That's what I'm thinking. Since 1989, Nintendo's always had a home console and a portable that they sell. 2 systems, right? This seems to be like a consolidation of those 2 businesses into just 1 unit.
Yeah.
And if so, that could be, I wonder, Nintendo could be losing out on lots of money because traditionally Nintendo fans bought 2 consoles. Now they just have 1 console.
On the other hand, Nintendo is also looking at the opening world of wireless apps. The fact that we have Super Mario Run coming along, maybe they're looking at their second market as being an extra Nintendo hardware market. So, we're going to make money on the apps that we sell for phones, and we're going to make money on the apps that we sell for our one dedicated platform.
Yeah, I mean that's one of the many questions. So I like the reveal. Like I got questions, Damon.
Lay on us.
Lots and
I'll
lots of
answer
them. Okay, sure, great. So despite all these questions and things that Nintendo still needs to sort of address, my gut reaction was, oh, this looks cool. Like, it looks sleek. It doesn't look like a toy. The marketing, there are no kids in the advertisements at all. Even though I'm sure the console will be popular with kids, their outward-facing first reveal of this console is, a little bit more grown-up and sleek and sort of Apple-esque than, than we're used to seeing from Nintendo.
You know what's really exciting about it is that you could potentially couch it in some sort of cardboard-like thing and play Virtual Boy games on it.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
You couldn't play VR really easily because the thing is pretty big and it's never going to fit on your head or feel good probably in any way. But you could separate those screens and you could play Mario Clash, Tellero Boxer, Nestor's Funky Bowling. It could happen. Speaking of backwards compatibility, do you guys think that controllers can be taken off the side and you can play Wii-style motion controls?
Does it have
with them?
motion in it?
Like
That's the
nunchuck
thing,
and pointer?
The reveal video didn't touch on motion controls at all, or demonstrate.
There is a guy with the controllers, off separately playing a game.
But he's playing Skyrim, I think, a game that doesn't use motion controls.
Yeah.
I also saw
Maybe a new era
people
of
on
motion
Twitter
controls,
starting to mock up something that I hadn't even considered was that since these controllers slide into the base, then you use them, that they could sell different controllers for different styles of games. Like, I don't have an example off the top of my head, but
Well, you remember the fishing controller?
Yeah, you could slide in like a different style of controller that's more conducive or more suitable for 2D games or 3D games.
Think about how many of those balance boards they sold. I mean, they love that focus peripheral that works with 2 or 3 games. If they can get you hooked on it, that's very Nintendo.
Peripherals have never worked. Every company says, peripherals have never worked, but they just might work for us this time, except the balance board. That's Nintendo's the only.
The Mario Kart wheel was also the best part of the 10th best-selling game of all time.
Yeah, Nintendo is the company. They made Rumble, an accessory that that was widely adopted and sold separately, and the Wii Fit balance board, and the Motion Plus. I shouldn't say never, really.
The RAM expansion pack.
Outside of
counts on a
Nintendo,
lot,
they're the only ones that's really been able to get it work. So maybe we will see lots of weird.
Now the
controllers.
PSVR is still available for pre-order, so who knows how well that's working. I think it's not selling very well.
You don't think PSVR is selling very well?
I don't
You
think
can
so.
buy it right now. There's no
Sony has said
there's
they're
no
moved
lack of there's no scarcity.
Thousands.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
So
Well, I wanted to say, they are leaving the Wii name behind. Maybe that also means they're leaving motion controls behind.
Maybe. I mean,
Back to just gaming.
They did sell 100 million Wii units, so it's not like there's any shortage of Wii remotes laying around households all over America. If you need them for a game, you can find them under your couch already.
Yeah.
That may be.
you probably have one under your couch right now at home. Everyone look underneath whatever chair you're watching the show on. There's
I have
probably
6.
Yeah, there's absolutely at least one under my couch right now.
6 to 10 odds that
Because
there's a Wii
because I had
controller.
4, and then the Wii Motion Plus came out, and so I bought 2 more.
Yeah.
6.
So Nintendo showed off what the system is, what it can do. It did not talk about specs at all. Is that how important is that to you guys?
We can only assume from what games they showed what the specs are like, and one of those is clearly a remastered-looking version of Skyrim.
Right.
It's not the classic version of Skyrim, so
Yeah, fun
that's
fact,
showing putting it somewhere between Wii U and PS4.
Didn't we confirm that the footage of
Or could we?
Skyrim that they showed in the Switch reveal was from the Skyrim remastered trailer?
No, it looks like it. What
it's a little bit
Bethesda
different
told
shot.
us is that it's not from a Skyrim game. They just worked with Nintendo on the
It's
trailer.
like a little mock-up, yeah.
The moment they positioned this thing as a portable hybrid, they placed themselves in a spot where they were not going to be able to compete hardware-wise because of batteries. And so
Not just because of batteries, but
I
among
think
other
that, but I
reasons.
think that's the single that's the hard point. You just can't break that barrier with current technology,
Yeah.
not affordably.
Well, I mean, I would say space.
Space is huge too.
But either way, I mean, once again, you're totally right that once it's a console you can take on the go, they're not competing on horsepower anymore.
Yeah.
Your question was, do we care? Is it important to us? No, not important to me. It'll run. I think Zelda is beautiful. I thought the original Mario Galaxy was beautiful. I thought Mario Kart 8 ran in HD on the Wii U, and that was beautiful. And if we're at that level, I don't need Nintendo games to look any better than that for me.
I just
But it is
worry
important
because
to see it.
I think Witcher is twice as beautiful as Zelda. I mean, I just think it looks so much better that Zelda will look good and then look worse and worse and worse compared to everything else. And I like Nintendo being a cutting edge tech company,
Yeah.
and it's been a long time. But man, Metroid Prime was the best looking game out. It was the best looking
It
game.
was, yeah. At the time, I thought Metroid Prime was the most beautiful game I'd ever seen.
Yeah,
It's
that meant a great deal to me at the time. So I'd like to feel that again.
It's very strange the way they choose to be a cutting-edge tech company, because you look at something like Mario Kart 8, running on hardware maybe a third to a quarter as powerful as what it was competing against. And Mario Kart 8 for a long time, I think until The Witcher came out, was probably the most beautiful game of its generation. Running on far inferior hardware. It was
I think that's lunacy.
gorgeous. No, I don't. I go back and watch
It is
that
a very
game.
beautiful game. I don't know. I wouldn't say it's the most beautiful game of its generation.
It wasn't. It was when it came out. I'm thinking about the things it was up against
very
at that point.
subjective.
And of course it is. But go back and look at the libraries that were available at that point, and then watch that thing zipping along at 60 FPS
people said
without
that about
dropping a
Galaxy.
frame. And they were doing that on a machine with 2 gigs of RAM and an inferior graphics processor. They do have great engineering skill. They're just applying it different ways, and I think they're going to try to double down on that with this one.
Yeah. If it's,
Hopefully it's still HD.
yeah, well, yeah.
I mean,
We don't know.
from yeah, I know. From
They
my
won't release any information.
From my perspective, like I'll get my eye-meltingly gorgeous games. That's Uncharted 4. That's there's a different set of companies and expectations. A different set of expectations from Nintendo for me than some other companies. They're sort of in this other separate category.
Yeah, but if you
like-
want Red Dead Redemption on your one system you own, then you want it to look good.
yeah, that's true. I mean, I don't know that the Switch can be the one console that very many core gamers own.
2K was one of the companies that's on that list of.
They won't confirm that they're making any games.
I'm sure that Nintendo would rather if you only had one system, it was theirs, but I don't think they're going to market or present this as that. I really do. I think that this is your second console. That's what they're wishing.
The whole point of this is to market it as like it's one thing you need.
I disagree.
That's
It's
the
not-
exact
So, like,
marketing message.
I disagree. It does everything, but that's not the same thing as being the only thing you want in your house.
They're trying
Okay.
to say you don't need another DS or anything. You just need
This
this.
thing, so it has to be more powerful than the Wii U. I mean, if it's not, that's crazy, right? I would think if Nintendo's smart, it's more powerful than the Wii U. My hope would be that it's at least as powerful as PS4, Xbox One. It's not going to be as powerful as PS4 Pro or Xbox Scorpio, but as
But without extra power in like the hub, which they say there's not, I think at this point. I don't know how that can be in a
It's just-
tablet-sized device. It's just, if it was, then the PS4 Slim that just came out would have been that size.
I mean, I would be very
Maybe it's
happy to be
physical
proven
media.
wrong. I would be so happy to be proven wrong, but this is a tablet. This is a gaming tablet. Like the expectation that this is PS4 levels of powerful, I think if people truly are believing that, they're setting themselves up for some disappointment.
You can build a discrete graphics processor that is that powerful, but it would be very expensive, and more importantly,
that's true.
again, it would be extremely power hungry, and that battery just dies.
I mean, we know what's inside this thing. We don't know the exact specs of it, or the speed, or the VRAM, or any of those technical specs. But we know it's NVIDIA Tegra powered, and the Tegra Shield gaming tablets already exist. They're $199.
Yeah.
They don't come with a controller or anything, and you can see, you can go on YouTube, or IGN probably has some videos of them, and you can see them running.
I wonder if they're doubling down on the idea again, like they did with the Wii, that art assets are going to be less expensive to develop for this thing, and that they're hoping that'll encourage people to develop for it. If you can make a game for half the price that you make on a PS4 or Xbox One, that may open the market up to developers who can't quite afford to get into that space. That might be something they're going for.
But here's the thing: if it's not as powerful as PS4, as if it's not on par with current gen, there goes all your third-party support.
Yeah.
Because it's too difficult to downgrade all these current
Unless
games.
everybody buys it like the Wii.
That's what I'm thinking.
Then it gets everything.
Yeah.
I think
That's what happened.
But that's a very steep uphill battle.
I hope you're right.
If it's on par, then everything can be ported there. It's like no problem, just port it over to the
So
Switch.
That happened with the Wii U.
Yeah, it did.
I mean,
with a couple games, with a couple
Much, yeah.
old games, and that's something I actually wanted to point out. Where again, I like the reveal, like the Switch. I'm already more impressed with it than the Wii U. But there's already some little hints in that reveal where I'm like, Skyrim, that's your game.
Well,
That
but
game's
everyone's losing them. Everyone's like really excited about it. I was surprised too, but it's like everyone's
game's from
excited.
2011.
It's
Yeah.
a 5-year-old game, and everyone's like, "Yes, Skyrim is on the Switch." Like, well,
But that so gives me vibes
It's
of
crazy.
like the Wii U, where it's like, hey, remember last year's big game? We have it now, guys. We have Assassin's Creed
Mass
4,
Effect.
and we have Mass Effect
Batman.
2, and
They had that
Batman.
huge launch list, and you're right, it was just kind of slightly upgraded versions of older
Yeah.
games. They really wanted to impress us with third-party support, and at the beginning, there were people writing stories about all the third-party support Wii U was getting, and then just nothing afterward. I think the big question here is what they have lined up for 9 to 15 months after the thing hits shelves. That's what's going to make or break it. You're going to have that first big launch push, but are they going to get a second wave of support from third-party developers? And if they don't, do they have enough I must have it Nintendo stuff ready? I mean, they have gone quiet for a long time. There darn well better be some first-party software and second-party software available for the sucker.
Yeah.
It looks like there is from all those mocked-up games in the trailer, or whatever they are.
Yeah. Did you think that it was, from their reveal video, they showed some Mario footage in there. When I first watched it, it didn't really register to me new Mario game, because it kind of just looked like 3D World to me. But
3D
some
World has
people
a pretty unique perspective that's not what it looks like.
So, yeah, I mean, a lot of people are taking this to be a reveal of a new Super Mario game.
Yeah. I think Nintendo wants you to think that, otherwise they would have announced a bunch of game titles.
Yeah, I think it's a new Mario game.
Mysterious.
I mean, I think where else would that footage have come from? Like what is it? What are we looking at?
I guess people are thinking it could be DLC for that, a special edition of Mario Kart with like different things. But then the Mario Kart gameplay is really different if you have two items, it shows like the Double Dash style. So
Nintendo has not launched a home-oriented console with a pack-in Mario game since
Mario 64.
Well, that wasn't a pack-in either, right? That was.
It wasn't a pack-in, but it was out at launch.
It was a launch time game. Yeah,
They just got a little bit cheap.
And they did the same thing with the S with that 64 port, but they didn't have one in the box. Imagine if they were to come out and say, yes, this thing's $300, but there's a brand new mainline Super Mario Brothers game in the box.
No, they won't do that.
Why not?
Because everyone that buys the console wants to buy Mario, so that's $60.
Guys, what is your game card shelf going to look like?
It'll come pre-installed with Super Mario Run.
I'm going to have a little shelf this big. It's going to have all my game cards in it.
Let's talk about that.
I have one of those in my house.
I find it fascinating that it's using cartridges. So think about this.
Game cards.
Game cards. Fallout 4 is 28 gigs, I believe. Now, you can get a 64 gig smart card for like $25.
Yeah.
But then it's just, so it's like, it can totally fit on a card, but it's so much more expensive than a disc. To print a disc is like cents, right? If $24 of that card is already
that's how much battery life matters.
It's like
they don't want to spin the disc.
Here's my theory on that. I've got two to that. One, the production cost is less than the sales cost.
Why are you flipping off the audience?
Oh, well, that's completely unintentional. I was just counting on my fingers.
You're still doing it.
I really am. Here, there we go. All right, how's that?
Thank you.
All right, much better. There we are. All right, thank you. Yeah, just put a sensor bar over that. Train of thought. Yes, one, the cost that we're spending to buy a memory card is less than the cost to produce it. So we can think about that. That $24 is what we're paying for it. They're paying significantly less to get it out to us. That's one part. The second is that they're probably betting that what they'll save on potential piracy is more than what they will lose, because it is very easy to pirate optical media. Now, it may turn out to also be easy to pirate game cards. We don't know that yet, but I'll bet they're saying, hey, we're probably going to make up the difference on piracy.
Yeah, I think
they do know cartridges. They did the cartridge business for decades. None of their competitors did that.
Yeah. I think they just they didn't have a choice. Like once they made the decision that this console was going to be portable, they didn't have a choice but to go with a solid state media. They couldn't do, a spinning disc inside of a portable console.
You don't want another UMD, Justin?
You don't want another UMD. And so I think that decision, there are downsides, but I think it's sort of like, well, they locked in that decision to make it a portable console, and then they had no choice but to either go digital only or go digital in carts.
And I think digital only will offset the costs for everything else. They're going to try to sell everything digital. They get 100% of the cost of the game when that happens.
Well, maybe, but that's when I said I got questions. Like they haven't confirmed that this thing has a hard drive or sort of a robust app store or the ability to download AAA games day one or any of that stuff yet. And those. Today was just like the first little dipping our toes in. Like we'll get all that stuff, but it's like. Some of those details make a big difference to how attractive this console is or isn't.
The answer is no online functionality at all.
Yeah,
good. That'll be the announcement.
Good, great.
Yep.
It's only 5 months away until the launch of this thing.
Crazy.
Yep.
153 days. I'm just making that number up.
Do we think I should? I'm gonna say $299.
That seems to be the most common guess that I'm seeing out there.
I'm hoping for $249. I think we'll get $299, I'm gonna go for $249.
I think they're going to try to play up that console, and it's going to save you money because you don't need two systems anymore, and try to get more money out of people for that.
Yeah,
$400.
Yeah. So you think this is being marketed as the system that does everything? right? So they run the
They
risk.
might even offer trade-ins for your DS or something crazy like that.
Do they run the risk of being jack of all trades, master of none?
Well,
So
sure.
if it's like,
They'll be the master of their own licenses.
yeah. If it's like a console that isn't quite as good as the competitors, but also a portable
That's
system.
too embarrassing to play on the train.
Yeah, I mean, or like with kind of a weird control scheme for it's like
It's big. It's a big portable,
It is
right?
big. I mean, people don't. I saw a dude using an iPad on the bus the other day, and I'm like, that's weird. Like
Yeah.
playing an iPad
Or
game.
what about when people take pictures with an iPad?
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I'm
There's
ready
no
to do
camera
it.
that you can see on
I'm
it.
proud. I do like the fact that when Vita came out, one of the problems it has was that it had those pseudo AAA games that were so expensive to make, and it was hard to justify that with handheld sales. I think that one of the reasons they're pushing, hey, living room for this, is that they're effectively invoking the same strategy, but they're like, but no, see, it's a living room, it's a full AAA game, and that mental switch may be enough to overcome that barrier.
that's a really good point.
Yeah, Jared sort of touched on something. We've been very focused on the business side of things and being kind of armchair analysts, but from a gamer's perspective, I think it's super dope that you can be playing Breath of the Wild on your 1080p television, then just take it with you and keep playing that presumably pixel perfect exact same game experience. Like, that's cool. Nothing like that's ever existed before, and that's that opens up a world of possibility for stuff like Animal Crossing. I think Street Pass on 3DS is so cool and so compelling. It's the best thing about that console. Sort of passively social, and things are happening in the background when you have it in your backpack, and being able to play a game like Animal Crossing or Pokemon on your big screen TV, and maybe get a little bit of a different experience when you're on the go. That's just the game design space that opens up is really wide and interesting and fascinating.
That's so smart, Justin, because you could just come back and then it knows you've been gone. It's like, hey, something happened. Here's
know, it's
our own
great,
little
right?
between stream. Oh, that's such a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
everybody. I think for the most part, everyone seems excited about it. I think most of the reaction
Yeah, I
has
like
been
that.
positive.
Unlike the Wii U announcement.
Yeah.
Or the 3DS announcement, honestly. Like, there was a lot of, and I'm just talking about the people I know on staff and the people that I'm in the social spheres with. Like, I remember 3DS being something like, what is this? But
When 3DS was
now the
announced-
3D part is kind of forgotten.
Well,
It's just a good system for
when
handheld games.
3DS was announced, I was teaching school in Japan, and so most of the people I was hearing about it from were very excited 7-year-olds, and their demographic had an entirely different perspective. They were all in on that 3D.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about the Joy-Con,
Joy-Con.
which I don't know about. That's like one hesitation.
We've gotten a few questions about that for the Nintendo voice chat email, and people are just really, where did that name come from? It comes from joystick and controller, but people don't ever think of the joystick part.
Famicom, Joy-Con, it makes sense from a Japanese perspective.
Yeah, I think you're totally right. I am excited about this console. That tiny controller, man.
Yeah.
I don't see that really being a thing.
Yeah.
You mean that when they split it into two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about when
what you can do with
when
that.
they put like the Frankenstein thing between it?
I think that's cool.
It looks ridiculous.
looks
It's
like
like
a
it's like a
controller.
GameCube controller. Someone went and stretched it out too.
I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I want
But
to make it.
the Pro controller looks like
I just
any
don't-
other controller these days.
Just one analog stick. Like, what are you gonna do with that? Like,
One analog stick and 4 buttons, right?
yeah.
It's like,
and I think there's shoulder buttons on it too.
on that little thing.
You're gonna
It's
play.
Like this big.
You're gonna play WarioWare games.
Yeah, I'm very skeptical about that portion of it. But I think another, I know we got to move on, but sort of an underrated or thing that I'm not seeing a lot of people really talk enough about or think about is they've showed off their, for lack of a better term, Pro controller, like the standard controller, the dual analog face buttons, shoulder buttons. And now this is Nintendo going back to, for the first time in over 10 years, just a standard game console, TV, control, like Xbox style controller.
Yeah.
Like, that's really attractive to me. Like you've said before, like, I love Zelda, I love Mario, I'm not interested in motion controls. I don't want to deal with that garbage. And so having a standard controller be the standard again is incredibly attractive in terms
for
of
sure.
I hope we get this best of both worlds. Standard, what people have come to expect from home console gaming, and then weird new experimental, games that take advantage of being able to be on the go and be at home.
Yeah. We have an email here from Yair Donan in Israel.
I know you.
He emailed us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com, just like you can. He says, long-time listener, fifth-time writer, thanks for all the content you've given us. I recently learned that my surgical tutor listens to the show, and once even played an episode during a breast augmentation surgery.
Oh.
Just thought you'd like to know.
I hope it gives people a steady hand when they listen.
Yeah.
No question there, just
He says, anyway, do you think Nintendo will
there's a
ever
question.
release a light version of the Switch with no screen? Just a small box and Pro controller. So, just
A console.
Just the console minus the portable
like the
version.
Vita TV.
It came up for Wii U all
Yeah.
the time.
He
People
says
always say
the hybrid idea seems cool, but honestly, I'd prefer to ditch the screen for $100 off.
Interesting.
I wouldn't mind just putting my screen in the couch thing and just leaving it there forever.
Well, we had a lot of
if I wanna
questions
play
about
portable.
So you don't want to take it portable.
Maybe, I mean, the thing is, we work in a place where we have to bring consoles back and forth, so that's appealing. But other than that, like, I don't know. Maybe,
Well, when we knew the
What if you
rumors,
lose the 3DS? Then you're just not going to play any portable games anymore?
I don't, that doesn't look like a portable system to me. It doesn't appeal to me as a portable system.
Interesting. That's
But
like
around the house.
the whole
Like,
idea.
it's possible, like, in another room, or if, I don't even know.
wouldn't take it
Like,
on
I
a
don't have the
plane?
issue, like, sharing television space or anything.
you wouldn't take it on a plane.
Maybe. I don't go on planes that much. But yeah, I mean, there's special situations where it seems like it could be a fill-in portable, but not nearly as much as the one that goes in my pocket that I walk to work with, you know, or ride the train with.
the rumors when we were hearing all the rumors about the at that time called the NX, it's going to dock, it's going to have these removable controllers. One of the big unanswered questions was, what, if anything, will you do with that screen when it's docked? Will it be some kind of second screen experience? And it turns out it's completely, you do nothing with it. Like, it's completely covered. There's no two screen. Like, they went so out of their way.
They made the thing actually cover the screen.
Yeah, and like they show, like you got to think every shot in this trailer is so deliberate with like what it's trying to communicate to you non-verbally, and like that shot of it sliding in the thing is communicating to you this is not a two-screen experience.
They're like,
No
you had your
3DS
chance.
ports.
Yeah.
You didn't buy the Wii U.
Yeah.
No second screen experience for you.
So I think it's completely plausible that there may someday be a version of this that's cheaper, that's only for home use only, but that has to be far enough down the line that it's not confusing to people. Like, it's super established what the Switch is, and then the name kind of doesn't make sense at that point. But the big question is, like I've been saying before, if it's baked into the design of all these Switch games that, you take them out, then you bring it back. You take them out and you bring it back, and different stuff happens. And you go out and collect Pokemon, then you come back and battle with them at your house. Like, if that's what the games are, then obviously it doesn't work for it to only be in your house.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
If you'd asked me a couple days ago what the big news of the week was going to be, I would have told you the reveal of Red Dead Redemption 2, which we also got this morning as well, but I think that's been overshadowed a little bit by the Nintendo Switch announcement.
Not in my heart.
Oh.
Not in your heart.
Not in my heart. I'm excited about the Nintendo Switch, but
You like
I
the
am,
critter reel?
I am equally excited about Red Dead. There are a few things in the universe I like more than being a video game cowboy, and
You get to do it so infrequently.
I know, but that's what I'm excited about. I mean, I don't know how I'm going to get through the next year.
Yeah, I thought the trailer, the reveal trailer, was cool, but it was a little less substantial than I was expecting.
Yeah.
Definitely less substantial than the reveal of GTA 5.
I would like to speak in defense of the trailer.
Okay.
I liked the trailer a lot. I felt like it was, Ryan McCaffrey and I were talking about this morning, I felt like it was a mood piece. It was setting up the world that things are going to happen in. They didn't want to give us the characters yet. They're just being like, hey, here are beautiful, it reminded me of the great vistas from Western cinema, Open Range, for example. It was very evocative of that. And we're just seeing places where small, interesting, beautiful things are happening. You see a predator attacking prey. You see a field mouse scurrying across a meadow. And you just see this gorgeous world. And then they do finally reveal those characters in that wonderful Silverado moment where they're coming over there. There's so many tiny little things hidden in this. For more, check out the IGN Rewind Theater, because there's some really cool stuff in there. Pretty sure I spotted a lady cowboy. So, very excited.
A lady cowboy.
Yep.
Cowgirl.
Yep.
No, lady boy.
Okay.
No, but
I mean, that's a different thing.
no, really, there's some clues there that lead me to think that we're looking at a really neat group of pro or antagonists, whoever these guys are, and probably going to see there were so many personalities and so many vocations that drew people into the West, and we saw hints of Native American imagery everywhere. We saw what's almost certainly a female character. We saw all the different arms and vocations and the outfits and the costumes of the period, and I really
that dog
think,
attacking turkeys.
And I think they did a better job by showing us mud and dust and beauty and galaxies than they would have done being like, ba-bam, character plot. They're building. I call this is the snowball that becomes the
Take
giant
that,
avalanche.
damn it.
That's and
I
I
wasn't
really
even like talking trash on the trailer.
Oh, no, I don't think you
What I
were.
said was, it is not significant a reveal as the GTA 5 reveal, and I think that's.
What was the GTA
correct.
5 reveal? Just
They
the
showed that
trailer, right?
there's 3 playable characters now. It's in here's the new setting.
Added a bunch of dialogue.
and then here's the whole separate GTA Online.
Yeah, we got a lot of the reveal of that game.
But we had so much more context for what GTA was after 4 games and numerous spin-offs than we did from Red Dead, which, this is Red Dead Redemption 2, not Red Dead 3. So
Really
really
interesting.
we got one game. And I think they're trying to explain what the identity of these games are, what makes them different, what makes them distinct, and that's why they're giving us more of a here's ABC kids, and then we'll build up to the encyclopedia of the world.
You actually just said something that I hadn't considered until just this moment. All the rumors, and I actually don't know where these were based on or where they came from, because that's the nature of rumors, but we had been hearing that this was going to be a prequel. But Red Dead Redemption 2, I don't know, it's not a big deal. You can put 2 on it instead of it be set earlier in. But you're right that they called it Red Dead Redemption 2, which is breaking from the mold. Red Dead Redemption was the second Red Dead game. And so we were expecting Red Dead Revenge or something else.
Yeah.
And so now you have me wondering where this is going to fit in the chronologically in this franchise. 2 implies that it's farther into the future, but Red Dead Redemption was kind of already a whole story about how cowboys are dying out. It's very hard for that game to be set much farther in the future because it would just be ridiculous to have cowboys running around in a time period where they were gone.
You saw some indication of when it takes place.
There's a lot of clues in there. It could be anywhere from the, judging by the presence of the oil wells, anywhere from the 1880s into the early 20th century, and that depends on how they decide to play that.
Because why would you need oil?
Exactly, and we also know around when oil drilling started in Oklahoma and Texas out west. I've got this idea. We see what looks like the pants leg from a Cherokee. Yeah, what may be a Cherokee pattern on somebody's pants leg. I'm wondering if it's the Cherokee that were relocated to Oklahoma, where the oil wells were set up, and there's a whole "there will be blood" kind of plot. But that's all just being pulled.
I guess I don't want to read too much into the name Red Dead Redemption 2. Maybe it's more marketing, like Red Dead Redemption became sort of a thing that took on a life of its own. And they just said, look, put a 2 on the end of it, and then make whatever game you want and set it whenever you want.
Final thing I want to say. Open world looks like the most beautiful one that could ever exist.
The game is impossibly gorgeous.
If they do one thing and set up that, and then do a haunted version, or what's it called? Red Dead Undead Nightmare? Just do that again?
Undead Nightmare 2?
Yeah.
I
Just
cannot,
the open world.
That shot of the campfire and the lighting effects on the trees, like
and the Milky Way.
It's not often that my jaw just drops at how gorgeous something is, but there's
or
some
how
shots in
different
that
the
trailer.
sun-soaked trees look versus that misty dark valley.
Yeah. And the mountains way in the distance that feel like you're going to be able to ride right there.
I put this trailer on. I love the music. The music's beautiful too. But I turned the music off on the trailer and then put the music from the Magnificent Seven on and just watched the trailer again. That bump, 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 bump. It's kind of like watching The Wizard of Oz with.
It syncs up.
It's beautiful. I just love it.
One more note is, Red Dead Redemption told a redemption story. So since they're keeping that same name, Red Dead Redemption 2, I wonder if it's going to be another redemption.
Probably just lots of killing.
Yeah, just lots of killing. I mean, that would be fine.
Javier Escuela.
Bring me Javier Escuela.
Thomas Wade wants to know, here's a stupid question. What's on your Red Dead 2 wish list? I've already said mine. Undead Nightmare 2. Jared, you must have some.
A lot.
Wish list features.
Yeah, I'd like to get into the tribes a lot. I'd like to see, there are so many different cultures represented in the American West. I really would love to see the interplay between those groups of people and and Mexico and the people of the United States all kind of coming into conflict/cooperation depending on where you were at any particular time, and to see that treated with the delicacy and intricacy that actually existed. That's a period of our history, I think, that we're actually, a lot of us are woefully ignorant about. And you could do some wonderful storytelling that's not dull, but rather that's like high Shakespearean drama around those stories. I'd love to see that. Also, I want to rob trains with my friends in heists.
I want to see Bigfoot.
Yeah.
Sasquatches.
Was he in Red Dead Redemption?
It's kind of a quest that
unclear.
Yeah.
It turns out not being
like an urban video game legend.
You're chasing it in one of the side quests, but
that was in Undead Nightmare, wasn't it?
Undead Nightmare has
it had these rare beasts, these mythical
rare
beasts.
beasts.
Did I make that up?
No, I think that's right.
I have a very faint memory of it.
there's a Sasquatch in Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. It all blurs together in my head. So what I'd like to see is I'm such a sucker for video game homes. Like you can run around Banjo's home in Banjo-Kazooie and just hang out there and see all the stuff on their walls.
It's like the same
I'd like to
screen.
have like a really developed like homestead mechanic. Like if you go away and hunt down some rare beast and kill it, then when you go back to your home later, maybe it's mounted on the wall,
Yeah,
and
your
as like
fireplace.
your money total increases, maybe your sort of the land, like your fence gets bigger and
This
bigger.
game's
and-
gonna pair well with whiskey.
Maybe you could even
Oh, yeah,
pick.
for
Maybe
sure.
you could even pick the spot. Like I want to set up my cabin here, and then just have it sort of grow and change over the course of the game.
Get a draw.
Oh, you could have a homesteading, and then you could build in like the economy they built into Chinatown Wars
Yeah.
with the buy low, sell high stuff.
Exactly.
and,
Yes.
all
A
that.
little bit more
That's all boring.
like
Killing.
Assassin's Creed
Sasquatch.
2 or Brotherhood, but not Assassin's Creed like 4 or 5, where they went too far in that sim direction. I want just like light home
Light
sim.
sim.
Yeah.
Light sim, yeah.
Light sim.
Yeah, and I know it's almost certainly too early, but I want to visit the 1970s, or pardon me, the 1876 centennial in a video game. I want to go to the 100-year anniversary of America, which also happened to be like 2 weeks after the Little Bighorn. So if they could find a way to handle the Little Bighorn right, it would be pretty amazing to be able to be around and see their take on
What
that
if the
as
Oregon
well.
Trail's in it?
The Oregon Trail? The Oregon Trail's in it. That's like more like 1848, but
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
So I mean, we know
Looks like that terrain.
We know that every Rockstar
Westy.
game is, a company-wide effort, and Rockstar San Diego, they made the original Red Dead Redemption, was undoubtedly, pulled in to help significantly with GTA 5, and that's just the way that studio works, is they all kind of pitch in on each other's projects. But if San Diego has, been working on or beavering away on Red Dead Redemption 2 all these years, since, God, how many years ago did that game come out?
2010, I want to say.
Like, that's unbelievable. Like, no other developer can really afford to let their studios do that. Just let hundreds and hundreds of people work on something for a half decade. Like, it's like them and Bethesda are really the only ones that even attempt
No
to do
release
something
date.
like that. Oh, they said
Right.
fall 2017.
Fall 2017, but no
2017,
release date. Or something. Okay, cool.
You raised a great point, but I haven't gotten past beavering away.
I'm just saying,
There
like,
were
they're
beavers in the first game,
just to be able
or
to
the second game, I should say.
when hundreds of people can work on something in semi-secret for 5 years, like the results are incredible.
Yeah, it's true. Well, 5 months from now, we'll be playing Nintendo Switch. 1 year from now, we'll be playing Red Dead Redemption 2.
The sequel to Sunset Riders.
And since 2K is publishing it, it could be on the Nintendo Switch.
It's because they were one of their partners.
Potentially.
All right, now's the time on Game Scoop when we play video game 20 questions. Everyone knows how this works. You email us a suggestion. I'm the only one who knows this, and my panel here has 20 yes or no questions to guess. This week's suggestion comes from Justin Campbell.
I did the thing again. I forgot to bring in Doug Zer's GameScoop superfan. I've met him face to face twice now, and he's given me a list of suggested first questions.
Yeah.
And every week I forget to bring them
I
in
remember
here.
last week, but
I remember one of them on the list is does this game have at any time, like on the screen, can you see and read, does it have a game over screen?
yes.
So it's not Portopia for Never Be Game Over. All right, there we go.
Whoa.
All right, let's see. It has a game over screen. Was this game released after January 1st, 2000?
No.
Was it released after 1990?
January 1st, 1990? Yes.
Ooh. Specific.
90s game.
Also, the people have spoken, they like the fingers.
Only 90s kids will remember this game.
The one person that matters has spoken, though. Doesn't
That's
like
true.
the fingers.
That's true.
She doesn't watch every week, so.
Okay, is this game primarily associated with Nintendo being on a Nintendo platform?
No.
Does this game have sequels?
If I don't think so, I don't want to.
Not known for its sequels.
Yeah, it's definitely not known for its sequels.
Okay.
There may have been one, but it's pretty obscure.
Okay.
Okay. Is this game a 3D graphically game?
No.
Okay, is this game primarily associated with a Sega console?
No.
Neither Nintendo nor Sega. All right.
What does that leave us with, PC? in the
Leaves us
90s?
with PC, PlayStation, arcade.
Oh, it does leave us with PlayStation, even though it's 2D.
Yeah, and technically Dreamcast.
Yeah, I can't even.
TurboGrafx. If
But you
want
said
to
a Sega system.
Yeah.
So that
You said
it's
not a Sega system. You said not a Sega
So
system.
it's not Dreamcast or Saturn.
Well, it's not Dreamcast, yeah, of course.
So
Sorry.
most likely PlayStation or PC.
Yep.
So let's ask the PlayStation question.
Yeah,
Let's
I
just
agree.
keep going.
Yeah, is it a PlayStation game?
What do you mean by, is it a PlayStation game?
Oh, dear.
Is it a primarily on PlayStation?
Oh, or it's multi-platform, because I did say primarily associated with.
Yeah, is this game primarily associated with the Sony PlayStation?
No.
Okay, so it's not. It doesn't
Probably
have a primary.
almost
association.
Multi-platform game.
Is it a PC game?
Are you asking if it's primarily associated with the PC?
I think we should stop asking
Yeah,
this.
I
Yeah,
agree.
we're burning a lot of questions
Or maybe
here.
we shouldn't. Is this a multi-platform game?
Yes.
Okay.
I think
Wish we would have started.
Yeah, that's a good starting one.
Well, there we
got
go.
A lot of questions there, and then it doesn't have an association with all these, so it could be like Bubsy or something that's on multiple platforms.
Okay, but it's
Or
probably
Booger Man.
probably the
Was this a licensed game?
No.
okay.
That's 10.
So
Oh my God.
Well, I asked because
We're
that
doomed.
eliminates all like the Disney platformers. So we know it's a 2D game
Yep.
that had a game over screen that was multi-platform.
Is
We're
it
doing
before
all right.
1995?
Yes.
Okay, it's before 95.
I don't want to think about the latter half of that.
Yeah,
decade.
because then it's like, oh, you forgot that this came out in '99.
Is this a Japanese developed video game?
No.
Okay, so that cuts a lot out.
Earthworm Jim.
Is it a platformer?
No.
Okay, so
A 2D game that's not a platform.
could be
be an
fighting. Remember
adventure
that
RPG.
tripped us up the other day.
Fighting adventure RPG.
Well, it tripped me up at house party. Yeah. Does this game multiplayer?
Yes.
Okay, so not an RPG.
That's good. Could be racing.
Could be racing, could be fighting.
Mario Kart.
Fighting's a really good
Well, I would
thing
call
for
Mario
that.
Kart 3D.
Could be a brawler.
Should we ask if it's competitive or cooperative?
I think it's probably competitive for that.
yeah,
could be a
sure.
brawler.
Is it or like if there's only two players? That's all.
Could be a
like,
brawler.
But most of the brawlers were Japanese.
Is a lot of the is the way are their characters punching and kicking each other a lot in this game?
No.
So it's neither
It's
a brawler.
15.
Good question, Justin. All right.
5 questions left.
Multiplayer, early 1990s, multi-platform, not fighting. That's a lot of video games still.
But there
Not
are
licensed,
lots of
not known
punching-
for its sequels.
Punching and kicking has a game over screen.
Well, I thought you said no punching and kicking.
No punching and kicking.
No
It's
punching
like-
and kicking.
goodness
Yeah.
gracious.
So not Mutant League
It could be-
football, not pigskin, none of that. You could be you mentioned
Should we just ask if there's violence of any kind because that would get us to puzzles and all that
Good
stuff.
point. Could be like Bust a Move.
Yeah.
Is it a
But that's
violent
got
game?
a million sequels. But
Does-
You're asking if there's violence?
Yeah.
Yes.
violence.
shooting, 2D shooting,
Yep, could be 2D shooting, but it's not platforming. But it could be
multiplayer.
Okay, Life Force is after 90, or before 90, pardon me. Life Force is 89.
Like
I mean,
Dodon.
you guys can just ask if we're running out of so much. We have to get a genre. We're not going to guess it.
But
so
I'm
we
thinking
might as
about-
well do. Is it a shooter? Or is it?
Well, but I'm thinking about so we know the fact that it's multiplayer and doesn't have punching
Yeah,
and
it's not
kicking
going to be shooter. That's
But
and
it
it's
does have
2D,
violence.
but does have violence, leaves us with shooting, a multiplayer shooting game, 2D shooting game.
Almost.
Maybe not
Or-
shooting, but probably
or
shooting.
racing.
But it's violent.
Well, violence. I mean, unless it's like what's a multiplayer? I guess it could be a car combat game, but
Yeah, yeah.
but it's 2D,
yeah,
Well,
and it's
Well,
before
it's very
90, and it's before 95.
yeah. There's very few car combat games in that period. You're right.
We said it's not 3D.
Yeah. Well, then it's.
Well,
There's rock and roll racing. That's a. That's a
You
2D.
seem stuck on racing, Sam.
Well, because genre-wise, it's not a platformer. It's
Yeah.
2D.
I'm just
and
thinking
it's
about
before
I'm
1990.
thinking about like
No, I
Life.
see your point.
I'm thinking
I see
about
your
Life
point. It's not a
Force
fighting game.
or one of those.
It's not Life Force. That's too early. But
Well, it's-
Well, but
those
a
aren't-
game like
those aren't-
that, like a game like R-Type or one of those, but obviously that got a billion sequels.
And it would have to have 2 players on screen at once.
that's the problem. Is most of these games
Right.
have sequels. Almost all of those are series, and
And it's not a platformer, so
Or
it's
it could
not.
be a brawler like Contra, or
Multi-platform.
like that.
But we know it doesn't have punching and kicking.
But Contra doesn't have that.
Oh yeah, you're right.
do you think if we should ask if it's a shooter, or not, or do you think we should ask if it's?
I mean, yeah, I guess. Do you shoot guns in it?
Is it? Is it a shooter?
I didn't say if it's a shooter.
what'd you
I'd
say?
say do you shoot
Guns.
projectiles in it?
Yes.
Okay. Shoot projectiles. All right. It's no sequels, not licensed.
And it's multiplayer and you're running around. Like this sounds
Multiplayer
more
running
like
around.
Contra.
How many questions we got?
Does, but Contra's too
3
early.
questions left.
No, Contra 3: The Alien Wars.
Do you
But that has sequels still.
It's
And it's Japanese.
associated with
Is this game
it's
played
just-
left or right?
yeah,
No.
Okay, it's not played left or right.
up and down.
Probably a
and
top down or
down.
with a shield 4-player. Oh, wait.
So like Akari Warriors.
It could
or-
be G.I. Joe for arcade. It could
It's
be.
not licensed.
No, it's not licensed. That's right. And it's not Japanese, and that's Japanese again. We keep thinking all these Konami and
Yeah.
Capcom games, but
U.S.
this is a U.S. game or a European game.
I don't feel like we ever win 20 questions anymore.
Yeah.
You won last
Is it a
week.
spaceship like type thing? Or did we get that out of the way?
No.
We didn't ask
But it's American. There's so few games that are like that.
Yeah, we're assuming it's American or European. I mean, it could be. There's so many games this could be.
What was that like top-down soldier game where you would throw grenades and then you move from the bottom of the screen to the top?
Commando, but that's an '80s game.
I mean, what if it's Doom?
I would call that 3D.
Yeah, Doom's a
I know it's sprite-based.
3D shooter though. I mean, yeah, it's.
It fits everything else.
I would be sad. That's true. It is multi-platform. You do shoot. But Doom has sequels.
Yeah, that's true.
Doom has sequels, so it can't be that.
Multi-platform.
Multi-platform shooter.
Or it might not be. We did finally ask the multi-platform question, so it's not.
Yeah, we after using like 8 questions, we
I mean, we are not going to be able to narrow this down.
We got 2 left.
2 questions left.
2 questions left. We can do this. We're good at this. We know video games.
Let's bring it home.
Them. Let's think about the games we played for a moment. Let's see.
Thinking about the games doesn't make for a great podcast.
Yes.
No,
Okay.
no, it doesn't.
Let's ask a question.
Should we just ask if it's in space and then just
Is
finish this
a
up?
sci-fi themed game?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
we are.
So we
boned.
don't know that you shoot guns. We know you shoot projectiles. So that's what tripped us up with Karnov a long time ago.
Karnov was one of them?
Yeah, when we got it
In the 90s,
thanks
that's
to
brutal,
Altano,
guys.
Somehow, I don't know what he did.
So just think of 2-player games you guys enjoyed playing.
Yeah, 2 or more.
It's like Magic, where you're shooting fireballs and stuff.
Right.
Gauntlet type games.
Yeah, that's like top-down party type games like that. I'm trying to think. He mentioned PlayStation, but he said 95, like, right? That was
No, it's before 95.
before 95.
Yeah.
So between 90.
It could be.
It could be. Oh, is it Zombies Ate My Neighbors? Is that the?
I don't know if that's 2-player.
I think that's 2-player.
Yeah, it is.
I think that's 2-player.
That's as good a guess as any.
Yeah, you want to try that? You want to try Zombies Ate My Neighbors?
Yeah.
All right. Oh wait, but that's kind of sci-fi themed.
I don't think
That's zombies. No, Zombies Ate
Do
My
you shoot
Neighbors.
projectiles?
You're asking if the game is Zombies Ate My Neighbors? No, that's not it.
Okay.
No. Released in 1990. Primarily in arcades,
Okay.
but although it was ported just about everywhere.
Okay. What we got?
Hybrid genre with a medieval setting.
Okay.
Okay.
What we got here?
Rampart.
Yep.
Oh.
Rampart.
We got it! 22 questions. No, 20 questions and 2 hints.
Developed and published by Atari.
We
Yeah.
played 20 statements.
I don't
Yeah.
think I would have got there.
Rampart.
I would've got there
Jeez,
in
that's
10 more questions.
so
Puzzle?
good.
We could have asked if it was a puzzle.
If we'd asked
We would've
puzzle,
got it.
we'd been like, yeah.
You're shooting cannonballs.
We could ask about
Shooting
controller.
onto-
If we'd got an arcade, we could ask about controller.
Yeah, it's a trackball game.
Trackball.
Rampart.
Really
By the way, that is a great game. Play
that?
it.
It has a game over screen.
Oh, so it's an arcade game. I have to imagine.
Yeah, I
it's a
think
game over
each
screen.
of the 3 columns of player gets a
its own-
game over screen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. I played it a lot.
Ooh, Rampart. I played a lot of Rampart.
I love that game.
Yeah,
That game's really fun.
It's so creative. Like
It's a really cool game. There's nothing else like it. And so, was there ever a Rampart 2?
There
It's
are.
not the one that
They
I
did
know
some
of.
remakes.
It wouldn't have helped us if you would have
Yeah,
said yes
there are
or no.
remakes and there are alternate versions, like ports that are weird. But I don't think they ever made a straight up Rampart 2.
Yeah.
They did, I don't know.
Make Rampart great again.
Make Rampart great again. So-
Now, I honestly didn't realize Rampart was a 90 game.
yeah, I
Yeah,
would have
isn't
thought
that
it was
crazy?
earlier than that.
It's
Yeah.
on NES.
I think.
Yeah, they've worked NES.
That's right. I thought it was a late NES.
What is a really good suggestion? Somebody suggested that one, or did you?
That was Justin Campbell.
The NES port kind of stinks, though. You want to play the arcade version.
Yeah.
That's part, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. All right, that brings us to the end of another Game Scoop. Thank you, Justin. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, Sam. Remember, you can always reach us at the email address, gamescoop@ign.com. My name is Damon. This is IGN Game Scoop. And we're out.
Switch.
Here's Jared with the weather.